Hey guys, Stephen Altrogge here. I wanted to come to you today with a very brief encouragement, something that's been encouraging to me lately. It's from the book of Lamentations, Lamentations 2:22 through 23. It's actually 21 to 23. Let me read this. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. A couple just quick thoughts on this passage that have encouraged me lately. The first is the passage starts off by saying, "This I call to mind, and therefore I have hope." And as I think about this, I'm reminded of the truth, the reality that we have to constantly call things to mind about God. If we want to have hope in this world, if we want to have hope in the midst of trials, in the midst of difficult circumstances, we must regularly call to mind truths about God. The way to have hope is by calling truths about God to mind. Now, specifically, what truths about God? This passage gives us a few of them. The first is that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. Aren't you glad that God's love is steadfast? Steadfast means it doesn't vary, it doesn't change. God's love for you doesn't go up and down and fluctuate all over the place. No, steadfast means that God's love for you is at 100% all the time. Stop and think about that for a second. God's love for you is at 100 max capacity at all times. It doesn't cease, it doesn't change, it never comes to an end. Steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. And then it says his mercies never come to an end. You personally will never reach the end of God's mercy. I will never reach the end of God's mercy. And not only that, there's new mercies for you every morning. Today, this day, God has new mercies for you. He's not giving you old recycled mercies. He's not giving you yesterday's mercies, and he's not giving you tomorrow's mercies. He's giving you mercies for today that are specifically tailored for the circumstances you're going to encounter today. New mercies for today, tailored, custom designed for what you need today. And then it says, great is your faithfulness. I feel like this is just a summary of God's character. God is faithful. He is faithful to you. He won't leave you. He won't forsake you. He will never desert you. His faithfulness is great. You can't come to the end of God's faithfulness. Though you and I at times are faithless, God is always faithful to us. Aren't you glad about that? It so encourages me. Great is your faithfulness. I hope this encourages you today. Call these things to mind so that you can have hope.